Hi Virgo, thanks for coming to my channel. I'm Elsie and you have reached 10 of Cups Tarot. Thank you for coming here. I am here to do your reading, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter for the sign of Virgo. And I am also going to take energy for the overall, for this reading. The overall energy for this reading will come from the Fairy Tarot cards from Green Virtue. This is one of the very first, decks of cards that I received, and I realized I was intuitive enough to read them. So I'm just going to use these for the overall energy for this reading, and I will pick one here. Let one fly here. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter for the sign of Virgo, please. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter for the sign of Virgo, please. Just one card. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Oh, there it goes. All right. Had to fall on the ground, of course, because Elsie is the queen of dropping cards. Okay, the Two of Winter is what we have. Indecision is holding you back. Make the choice that's best for you rather than trying to please others. Feeling trapped between the intellectual and the emotional. So Two of Winter is, it's like picking between two, right? You're feeling trapped between intellect and emotion. And this, I have a feeling, is to do with some sort of love connection. Indecision is holding you back. Making the choice that's best for you rather than trying to please others. So this card would be like the Two of Wands in the tarot. So here we go. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter for the sign of Virgo. I'm going to do 5 cards for the past information, 5 cards for the current, and then we will go with 10 cards for the future. All right. Spirit, I do need 5 cards for the past. Thank you. There's 1. 4 more cards for the past. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter for the sign of Virgo, please. Thank you very much for clicking here if you're brand new. If you are, I hope you'll subscribe before you leave. And I hope that you will share with your friends as well, just to get them over here so we can keep our family growing here. And if you are a person who is always coming back, I thank you so much, because you're the reason I keep coming back here to give these readings. There's one there. There we go. All right. So we've got 5 cards for about the last 2 months, 6 weeks or so of energy. Let's look here and here. Good. Under here, we show you is feeling sort of a little bit left out on the sidelines here. Not necessarily, well, I mean, some people at this point could be in a lack of food for sure, because, you know, a lot of people have lost their jobs along the way. We can see here that she's begging for food and money, and that could very well be how you're feeling right now, but it's feeling in lack. So feeling like you can't go on, feeling as though you're stuck on the sidelines, feeling though you're behind and that no one cares. And so, you know, that is sort of the energy that is in and around you. Then I have the King of Swords, and I think that if you are feeling in lack, it might be because of that you have just not spoken up. So here is, excuse me, oh. Had to yawn. I never had to yawn during a reading before. Anyways, so the King of Swords. The King of Swords is very smart. He's usually a lawyer, someone in authority, someone who's very book learned. He is very smart, good at communication and connection, and he is always speaking his truth. So he is speaking his truth, and I have a feeling that in the past you spoke your truth, something to do with a connection, a relationship of sorts. So this is Virgo. This is you, and you know, you're all about the details, Virgo, right? So I have a feeling that you spoke up about the details of a relationship, that you finally did that. And when you did, it closed a chapter. It's done. So whoever was on the receiving end of that didn't like to hear your truth, and I feel as though you ended up closing a chapter. So I mean, bravo to you, because you've learned a karmic lesson and you have, you know, been able to close the chapter so you can carry forward in your life out of stagnancy, which is great. And that might have been, you know, it might have been that you had to pick either staying in the relationship or the union, or you know, compromising who you are in order to stay in the union. What I see here is that at the end of all of this, looks like you do have the strength that you need. This is the card of Leo, and this person here is looking at the opportunity. So I feel like you had the strength to get out of this relationship that wasn't serving you, and that you took the new opportunity that came along, and that you were strong enough after your union broke to go out and find this new opportunity. So I understand now why you were feeling like that, just because you have been, you know, maybe feeling like on the outskirts of your own relationship. That could very well be. All right, so we will ask again for 5 more cards for the current energy, please. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter for the current energy. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter for the current energy for Virgo, please, until the end of April. Boy, you don't want to give me any cards, do you? You give me bunches, though, and that's not good. I can't take whole books, sorry. Oh, there we go. I've got 1. This is back here. I need 4 more cards, please. 4 more cards. There's 2, 3. 2 more cards, please. Oh no, one more card, please. There it is. There we go. And underneath the deck, we now have celebration or third-party connection. So you could have been pulled into a third-party connection and not really known about it, and maybe that's what broke your union. This could also be celebration after you have closed your chapter. So it could be celebration or third-party connection, depending on how it fits in your scenario. And then you carried off into the current energy here. Let me just move these over a little so you can see them. There we go. You carried on through passion. So we've got the Ace of Wands here, and we've got the Ace of Wands and was brought in by the Knight of Wands. So very fast-moving energy. Caught you maybe a little bit by surprise, but came in, and you know, the Knight of Wands sometimes will stay and sometimes won't. Comes in for the passion first, and if he likes the passion, he'll stay, or she will stay, and if not, they won't. So I see that you have offered up some passion here, and it was reciprocated by the Knight of Wands, and then that came to an end. So I feel like it was just sort of a fling, and then it came to an end, and that really put you here into the maximum, the 10 of Pains. It came to a painful ending, I think. But in the long run, I think you realize that this is a 10 of Cups moment, that that relationship wouldn't have survived anyway, and that you were better off without it. So I feel as though you did end up making the choice of killing that relationship, and deciding that it wasn't worth it anyway. All right, and then we've got flipping cards here. Okay, so now we need 4 cards for the future for our Virgos, please. 4 cards for the future for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. 3 more cards, please. Too many. 3 more cards, please. 3 more cards. 3 more cards. There's 1 sticking out there. 2 more cards, please. Till the end of April. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter, please. There's 1 sticking out there. 3, and 1 more. 1 more. 1 more. There we go. There it is. right, what do we have under here? We have you waiting for your ships to come in. So we have you in a wait status here. You know, I think you know what's coming, but you think you're going to have to wait for it. So I think that what you're waiting on is some sort of a solid union, something that's stable, something that's abundant and passionate, something that has, you know, someone who does more than they say. You no longer are going to settle for lip service. And then we have the 10 of coins with the 10 of pentacles, and this is the maximum in abundance. So what you're looking for is a good stable relationship that is going to be very abundant financially, in money wealth, in love wealth, in, you know, happiness and contentment as well. But I think you're feeling a little bit like you're kind of defensive just because, you know, you've been through a union, you spoke up about a partnership, and then that broke, and then you got your strength back and you took the opportunity and you went out for the passion, and then that came to an end. So I don't blame you for being a little bit defensive, quite honestly. This is all actions people are taking against you here, but you are taking the higher ground. You're above it, and yeah, you're a little bit defensive about it for sure, but you're only defensive is because you think that somebody's lying to you and deceiving you. This could be deception. Someone could be trying to make trouble in your life. I feel like it's that kind of deception, that someone that you've had words with, it could be this last union here, someone you've had words with, that they are not having it. They just don't want to see you happy. And after you broke that union and went into that other relationship, I believe that someone is out to deceive you at this point. Deceive you in love. I don't think it's any other kind of, you know, money deception or anything like that. I think it's more about being deceptive in love. So now we need 3 more cards, or 2 actually. There's one more. One more for Virgo, please. Virgo. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter. For the end of April. One more. There we go. Good. All right. Right, yeah. And then we have the Emperor. So the Emperor is a father. He is someone who is someone who's the leader. He is the person who is in charge. He makes a lot of decisions that impact a lot of lives. He is the provider. He's the leader. He's the person who is... people answer to him as well, but he is the advisor to the kings. So he has all of the knowledge of all the kings. He is the advisor to them, and he runs the empire. So this is the card of Aries, and I see a lot of firepower here. So I see Leo, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, there and there. And then I see this Aries. So there's lots of fire here in this reading, which tells me that you have a type, and I think your type is you like a leader, you like someone who is fiery. So I feel as though you know somebody who is of an Emperor status. That would be someone who is a business owner, a CEO, a VP, something like that. It is your wishes and dreams to be with that person, and you do want to have success in that. So your wishes and dreams here, this is card of Cancer and Pisces. This again is more firepower, right? So I feel like your type, Virgo, is someone who is, you know, who is a fire sign of some kind. And I feel like you want someone who is of an Emperor status, and this is your wish and hope, and that you want success in that. Bottom of the deck, we have the Hanged Man. So maybe you're unsure of this union. It could very well be that you're unsure about getting into another union with another fire sign. There's one. More card, please, for the future. There we go. Here we are. Got the Knight of Cups and the Page of Cups. And under the deck, we have the Empress. So you could be a Taurus, or, sorry, you could have Taurus in your chart, Virgo, or you could be pregnant with a child. You could be pregnant with creativity. you really want to mate for life. This is what the swan is all about. And yeah, you just want to be abundant. You are very connected to spirit. And what I see here is that we have the King of Cups and the Page of Cups, which tells me that this is, I'm sorry, not the King of Cups, the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups brings in a cup of love, brings in a cup of emotional love, you know, romance. And I have a feeling that the romance that you might be currently experiencing, or maybe you are just very young in knowing how to be romantic, knowing how to be emotional. And I think it's sort of a something that you need to practice, being a little more emotional. You are an earth sign, and you know what? Earth signs don't let you see them sweat. So I have a feeling that when the Knight of Cups comes in, bringing in this emotional message, that you're kind of going to be acting sort of a little more astute, like just not showing much emotion. The Page of Cups is new at that, new at showing emotion, doesn't really know how much they should show, and either doesn't show enough or goes overboard. This could also be a child and an age difference in a relationship as well. Could be a significant age difference in your next union. Last card. And we have you heading off into the distance. So it feels like there's been some chaos in your life lately, maybe for a little while, maybe for the last 6 or 8 months. And it is time for you to stop that. It's time for you to head off by cloak of night, perhaps, or maybe the person you're with, you're just going to let them know that you're done. And you're just going to go from chaos to quiet, because that's what you need. You need to be able to have quiet. You will be picking between two. It looks like indecision is holding you back. Make the choice that's best for you rather than trying to please others. Feeling trapped between the intellectual and the emotional. So you could be picking between two. One of those is emotional, and one of those folks is intellectual. So yeah, that's all we have for you today, Virgo. I hope this was a good reading for you, a good start anyway. If you do need a personal reading, please contact me, lc@tenofcupstarot.ca. Don't forget that we have a live coming up tomorrow, and that time is to be determined. Please make sure that you have your bell icon clicked so you will know when that message comes up to let you know what time we're having our live tomorrow, because I will be drawing for the 2 free readings and for the deck of cards that I'm giving away. All right, I have to go. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.